Hey guys, EDDBUD here, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about my half marathon time trial I completed earlier on today, and also I'm going to be trying to bring some life back into this shoe, the Nike Infinity Run, using only dish soap. But before we get to that, if it's your first time here at the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button and click that bell for notifications below of when new videos are launched. And hit that like button, I'd be most appreciative. So today, I got up at 6 AM, wolfed down some Weetabix, a mug of hot coffee, washed and dried my favourite running shorts, and started to limber up. It's been a while since I took on that half marathon distance, and to coin a phrase from one of my heroes, the legendary manager of Arsenal Football Club, Arsene Wenger, I think I've been running a little bit with the handbrake on. Or that's the emergency brake or parking brake if you're in the USA. I set myself a goal, ate a banana. I wondered if I can do this. Can I do this today? Can I do it ever again? I haven't run a half marathon distance in a while. I found my favourite sunglasses, I filled up a water bottle and left it outside of my house like a makeshift water station. I was ready, I think. So I had in mind a 3-phase route really. 2 stretches, very long and relatively corner free, and then whatever else I needed to get to the finishing distance. I neared my makeshift start line and I was ready to go. So I kicked off just before 9 AM today. Strava has me down at 1 hour, 33 minutes and 9 seconds for the distance, with a pace of 7 minutes, 5 seconds per mile. I had 2 stop-offs at my water station. I really didn't consider that as I reapproached my house, it's all uphill. It was really punishing. I kept in my mind, just get to the steps where my house is so I can have some water and take on another gel. So I think I hit the first stop round about 5.5 miles, and then the second one was probably round about 9.8 miles, I think. As I got to the first water station stop though, sadly it had been infiltrated by ants. I couldn't believe it. The one thing that I didn't consider. Yeah, loads of ants will climb into all my stuff. So I had ants all over the gel, all over the water bottle. There was a hat there, a towel as well to dry off my face a little bit. So I probably lost like, I don't know, 30 to 45 seconds on those 2 water station stops because the ants were just all over everything. I think they were probably after the gels. Weapon of choice today was the Nike Alphafly Next%. Gotta say, these did superbly well for me on foot, but I'll get to that a bit more in a moment. Average heart rate was around about 151 beats per minute. There was an odd spike at the very start, the first mile or so I think. Then things seemed to calm down and it was very consistent throughout. I wouldn't say I was ever pushing myself into an overly dangerous sort of position. There were a couple of times where I needed to adjust, get my breathing back together again. There were a few obstacles in my way, well, that's all I'm going to say. But it certainly felt like it was a really good test today. I was really relishing it. There were times where I had this big smile on my face and I was actually relishing the challenge. Average cadence over the run of 170 steps per minute, and I totaled up. I was about 1 hour 27 in zone 3 and above in terms of heart rate zone. So it's about 92% in zone 3 and above. Really pleased with the consistency of my effort today. There were a good 5 miles of sub 7 minute per mile running, and only a couple of miles while I was slower than 7 minutes 22 seconds per mile, and that was on my water stop breaks. I left the watch rolling on those stops. There was only one time where I was forced to stop, and that was due to some less than helpful path-hugging individuals. That's all I'm going to call them. As I say, an odd heart rate spike there around about 1 mile. It seemed to get very high and then it dropped down. Maybe it was something to do with where the sensor was positioned, but certainly seemed to be a very reasonable and relevant and appropriate sort of heart rate measurement. These performed fantastically well over the distance. Not a single twinge of pain or discomfort at all over the run. No blistering whatsoever. And I paired them up with my Nike racing ankle socks and it was a match made in heaven. We're through to the afternoon now and legs are still feeling really great. Hopefully they still will tomorrow morning as well. I'll be getting back out in the Nova Blast to do a very easy recovery run tomorrow. I think real testament to the shoes, it's that ZoomX foam. It does have some type of magic encased within it. It does feel in this shoe like you get a big payoff for really concentrating on your stride. Concentrating on that mid-foot, forefoot landing and a faster cadence do lead to a more effortless feel in the Alphafly Next%. I think certainly after this promising effort, I can't wait to run in these again. In fact, I commented to Mrs. EDDBUD I might just pop out and do another 1 or 2 miles. I think she thought I'd flipped my lid completely. It takes quite a lot for her to say that as well. So I do urge you to test these out, try them out when you do eventually get the chance. Certainly for me, I feel it's a more accommodating shoe on foot in terms of the upper. I felt there's loads more toe box room there. I never feel like my toes were getting crushed together. Felt really good to give them an opportunity to shine at a pace and a scenario that's more towards their intended use. If you've got any questions about my half marathon time trial or this shoe, please post them in the comments below or join us for the live stream, which will be tomorrow, Monday, the 18th of May. I'll be going live at 2000 hours GMT, which is 1500 hours Central Time and 1600 hours Eastern Time. So please hop on into the chat and join us then. Your favourite shoe dog wasn't done yet either. I took some time out of my day to see if I could do a deeper clean on my pair of the Nike React Infinity Run. Even those half marathon legs couldn't stop me. I was really keen to see if the lofted Flyknit could be returned to its former glory, that out of the box fresh smelling scent, like a phoenix from the flames. Here's how I got on. Hey guys, so we're out here in the back garden, gonna see if we can try to clean up this Nike React Infinity Run. This one's got probably a few over 100 miles in it. As you can see, it's looking pretty beat up. Certainly at the front there, the lofted Flyknit's really discoloured. Got a bit of mud on the bottom of the shoe as well. We're going to see what we can do today, literally with some simple dish soap. I've just chucked some warm water in there with it, and my trusty old brush here. Nothing special, no special gear, no or equipment today. So we'll start off by taking the laces out, and then I'm going to stuff the front of the shoe with some kitchen towel here to soak up some of the moisture. So laces are going to have to get chucked in maybe a cup with some more dish soap and water. So we'll sort that out in a sec. Take out the normal paper, and we're going to remove the insoles too. Now, one thing I have noticed, and lots of other runners have noticed, is that there is a bit of an issue with these insoles. They do crumble away underneath. They seem to have got another coating on them, and they're not the thickest of insoles certainly, but there's definitely another coating there, and that's just crumbling away. That's pretty bad on this one actually. You can see there's big chunks of it coming off there. Seems to be coming up pretty well actually around the collar. That slightly more coarse material. There's lots of nooks and crannies here in this outsole of the Infinity Run. Quite tough to get the brushes, bristles into those little crevices. It's not easy, that's for sure. So you look at that kitchen towel there, that was inside the front of the shoe. Look at that. There's a lot of stuff come out of there. Okay, time for a bit of a water change, I think. Gonna give it another going over with the brush and the dish soap, and we'll see if it makes it any better. So one thing I am going to do, which I've forgotten, is chuck these laces into the water this time. So the process of decontamination can begin. It's all quite exciting this. And the sun's come out now, so I might be able to position the shoe, once we finish this next round of scrubbing, over in the sun, so it will dry out now a little bit quicker. So after a third scrubbing with fresh water, I think we are truly starting to get somewhere now. You can see the toe box is starting to come back to life a little bit. There's still some discoloration in the creases, but it is starting to improve. I think probably after a fourth go with some fresh water and some more dish soap, I think we're probably there. But I'm beginning to run a little low on time, so I think I'm going to call it a day now and get this one into the sun to dry off. So we'll head back into the studio. So as you can see by the right shoe here against the left one that's left uncleaned, the results were mixed nuts. I love that film. Love a bit of Steve Martin, don't you? That back thicker, coarser material here cleaned up really nicely. Only a couple of more stubborn stains clinging onto the fabric like a hapless Lando Calrissian, trying desperately not to fall into the Sarlacc pit. That elasticated tongue here shines brighter than it did before, certainly, like a beacon in the night. It is really quite hard wearing this section actually, and with 3 scrubbing sessions on the board, does look a lot cleaner than it did before. Emily Heller, never fear. The pull tab is also looking right as rain now. Though stop those good time beats, because it's not all slush puppies, guys. Slush puppies are like slushies, like fruit ice drinks. You know what I mean. That lofted fly knit at the front here really didn't hold up quite so well. It's actually got quite furry, in fact, even with the use of my very soft brush. Can't believe I actually just said that in a shoe video. There's still quite a bit of discoloration here, certainly in this thinner area of the lofted fly knit. It is certainly looking better than it did before, but alas, that toe box section still is holding on to some of those stains. It's actually quite different now I've cleaned it. I can see that the toe box section here is far more vented, far more breathable, this area. And then you've got a thicker area around the very edge of the front part of the shoe. So an interesting test. It certainly made the difference. I just used some standard washing up liquid, we call it over here in the UK, washing up liquid. It's kind of dish soap with some cold water, soft brush. That's all I had. And I used most of the kitchen towel as well, the highly absorbent kitchen towel. Just don't tell Mrs. EDDBUD. One last thing you need is a good bit of British elbow grease. Love a bit of elbow grease. I was certainly putting some elbow grease in earlier on that half marathon, I'll tell you that. The midsole is looking smooth as putty once again. The outsole, aside from some of the craters, are now clear of debris. As I said, that fly knit's furring a little bit. I'll see if I can get a shot. You can see it there. It's just starting to fur a little bit. It's a little sad, but hey, these shoes have seen a lot of action. Just like R2-D2, I guess. It's like carbon scoring. But there's life in this old shoe again, and it's looking a little bit more sparkly now, so a good job done. A musical interlude. I dug this superb album back out from the Flaming Lips. It's called The Soft Bulletin. It's one of those albums that instantly transports me back to a specific place and time. I remember listening to this one quite heavily in 1999. Some of the tracks on it are superb. It's got such an individual, very characterful sound. The Race for the Prize and Waiting for a Superman are both absolutely tremendous tunes. Always reminds me of Bournemouth. This one in Dorset in the UK. I saw the Flaming Lips there, I've seen them many times. A fantastic live group. Do check this wonderful sci-fi album out. The Flaming Lips, The Soft Bulletin. Right cats, that's about all for me for today. Thanks for negotiating your way through to the end of the video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button and click the bell for notifications below of when new videos are launched. Hit that like button and make sure you share this video with your running buddies. My name's EDDBUD, and I'll see you in the live stream tomorrow on the 18th of May. I'll be seeing you.